It's gonna take more than that to impress me.
We've officially gotten our hands on the newest Revenant Elite spec, Conduit. There's a lot to talk about. There's good, there's bad, and there's a little bit of ugly, so let's get into it. I want to begin with a little review of what Conduit is and the new mechanics it brings to the table. Then we'll talk about what I like and what I don't, and finally I'll give you a Conduit build and show a PvP match with some commentary so you can try it out on your own. So what is Conduit? Conduit has two new mechanics, Resonance and Affinity. And Resonance is the cool one. Basically, it means that your skills on the new legend, Raza, change based on your other equipped legend. So if you equip Assassin as your second legend, you get better mobility. If you equip Centaur, you get better healing. If you equip Demon, you apply more conditions. Resonance is cool. And the second mechanic is Affinity. And this is this tiny little bar above your equipped legends. You gain these bars by casting your skills and spend them by pressing your F2 button, Cosmic Wisdom. Basically, when you press your F2, you get super enhanced damage for a limited time, and that time is extended by these little bars. It's a bit convoluted, but we'll talk more about that soon. Those are the two things that Conduit brings, and honestly, it makes it a fairly simple Revenant spec to play because of it. Statistically, Revenant is the least played class, so a specialization that isn't overly complex and can fill a variety of roles is exactly what the class needs to bring in more new players. And that brings us to our next topic, the things that I like about Conduit. I like that it's simple to play, and I really like the idea of resonance. Think about it this way, Rev has always had a problem that you really want two legends that do the same thing. For example, if you want to make a healing build, you need both of your legends to be able to heal your allies, or else you're not going to be doing any healing 50% of the time. If you want to build a condition build, you need both legends to apply conditions, or else it won't work very well. Resonance allows the new legend to morph into whatever other legend you need it to be, which should allow for a high degree of flexibility and a large number of builds that you can play. Another thing that I like is Conduit plays the role of a high damage assassin very well. The addition of a ground targeted teleport is a welcomed addition for me. Rev has always lacked a reliable escape tool, and in the short while I've had this teleport, it has saved my life about a dozen times already. And I like to play this style of Rev, sort of a high damage assassin, so I think that Conduit and I are going to get along just fine. But here's the things I'm not as keen on. The resonance mechanic is great on paper, but only one of your utility skills changes based on your other legend. This makes the adaptability and flexibility of this spec kind of limited, and I found that the only playstyle that works particularly well to be the high damage assassin role, which, I mean, Revenant already does just fine without it. I'd like to see more of the utility skills morph using the resonance mechanic to give it a little bit more flexibility. I will also say that I think the affinity mechanic feels a little half-baked in its current iteration. Firstly, the UI is incredibly tiny and hard to see. Secondly, the main complaint that I hear from new Rev players is that they don't like energy management. Affinity adds energy management to your energy management and gives you two energies to management. And it also feels a little convoluted and counterintuitive because you typically are rewarded on Rev for swapping legends. So many traits proc on legend swap, and you gain energy back, and can even damage enemies by swapping legends, but you lose your affinity when you swap. So you've got one mechanic saying swap legends frequently, and then you've got another mechanic saying to camp legends and not swap so you don't lose your affinity. They just feel a little bit like they're playing against one another. Conduit, sadly, is also very buggy right now. It has one bug which I consider to be so game-breaking that I won't even show it to you. But my least favorite bug is the fact that you can't ground target your teleport until a few seconds after you swap legend. This has gotten me killed multiple times and is extremely frustrating. I want my skills to function the same all the time. Also, the ground targeted teleport does not work with snap ground targeting. It makes it frustrating to land this teeny tiny skill shot on enemies that are moving and juking around. All in all, I find Conduit fun but flawed. I'd like to see the resonance mechanic fleshed out to allow more build diversity. I'd like to see a thorough rework of the affinity mechanic to make it mesh more nicely with Rev's inherent energy management mechanic. Conduit, I think, has good bones, but needs some love. Let's take a look at the Conduit build that I've been running. I think that I've had the best luck personally with this variant of Conduit. This plays quite similar to kind of old school Vindicator. I'm taking the Invocation, Devastation, and Conduit trait lines, of course. The sort of spark notes of this build are you get a really nice Conduit cleanse from Raxxyx called Ethereal Purification, which kind of allows you to take 2 weapons that don't necessarily bring Conduit cleanse, which is really nice. It kind of frees you up to pick your favorite weapons. You also get really nice healing and endurance gain from this Lingering Determination trait line, which basically allows you to heal yourself every time you gain affinity, and you gain affinity from using your legend skills, so you got a nice trickling in of healing. Now, this last slot in the Conduit trait line, the Grandmasters, you can honestly get away with any of them. Misfire is quite nice. It turns your F2 into an instant cast Daze, which does damage and burning. Twofold Embodiment basically gives you that, makes that damage buff when you press your F2 pretty much twice as powerful, so it gives you that sort of big crazy burst, which is quite nice. And Perpetual Wisdom can give you the damage on the F2 buff more regularly, but you kind of have to play your energy around it. I quite like the Xealotous relic and the Rune of Vampirism on this. You don't really need a crit chance rune if you're taking Roiling Mists. I've been using the Hammer and Greatsword, and these are the sigils that I've been using. But feel free to use whichever sigils you prefer, and Relic of Xealotous. This is a sort of roamer DPS build. You're gonna roam around, plus fights, plus your teammates, go to team fights, lay down the big damage, have lots of fun running around the map, hitting those big numbers. So highly recommend this build. Give this one a try, and let me know if you suggest any changes. Okay, now we're going to do a little gameplay commentary on the Conduit build I just showed you. Now, I just wanted to plug real quick, if you enjoy these videos about Guild Wars 2 PvP and such, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, costs absolutely nothing. And if you're looking for a PvP guild, I've got my PvP guild War Pigs linked in the description. Now, off the start here, the Necromancer on my team is AFK, so I use my stealth from my Ranger here, and then I use my beautiful ground-targeted teleport to teleport up and over like this. This ground-targeted teleport is like my Roman Empire. This is my favorite thing. Go right behind the pillar here to avoid the Ranger's longbow damage, and then from there start the fight by just getting some damage in with my hammer skills from range here. Just getting some chip damage. My hammer 5 doesn't land. He uses spear dodge just in time. I don't block that because it's unblockable, but I get my affinity up, use my F2, big burst, but then another enemy comes in here, so I use my teleport to get away. Do a little line of sight around the pillar here. Get my weapon swap, go to my hammer here. Use hammer 4 to block the Ranger's longbow damage. Hammer 5 around the corner so the LEO blocks into it. He gets CC'd there, beautiful. So now I am free to roam around. Remember, my Necro was AFK at the start of the map, so we need to open the start of that match differently. When you're 4v5, you have to kind of try and play outnumbered here, and it's different. You can't just plow into mid when you're outnumbered, because then you're gonna run into a 4 versus 5 team fight and essentially just get everybody wiped. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm kind of trying to be a bit of a rodeo clown over here at the far node to hold up as many enemies as I can, so I can hopefully give my team an even numbered fight, or at least a chance at one. So that's kind of the objective here, and so far so good. I haven't died. But you see, I made really good use out of my ground-targeted teleport. It's called Beguiling Haze. It's on Raza. And this is my favorite skill on the whole kit. I'm really enjoying having a ground-targeted teleport on Rev. Rev has always been lacking reliable escape tools. And, you know, you play classes like Mesmer or Elementalist who have those really reliable teleports to get them out of jail free. And then you go back to poor old Rev and you feel a little bit stuck. You know, you have really good engage potential. You can really get into fights, but you have very poor disengage potential. It's very hard for you to exit fights and exit bad situations here. So quick res on the teammate, and then we take the duel versus the Ranger one more time here. Now I need to avoid his Gale Shot longbow damage here. I don't know what you call that thing. I guess it's the Spirit Bow. Block his sword damage here and go back in for the counterattack burst with the F2 here. Big damage. Over 7k on that Greatsword 5, and then finish it off with the Greatsword 2. Basically, you're waiting for your 3-bar F2 to come up off cooldown, and then you're looking to use it with a combo of your most damaging and deadly skills all in one go. And that's kind of the idea behind Conduit here. Look at this Amalgam. He just absolutely bowls over 2 of my teammates like they're just, I don't even know what. But Amalgam is absolutely off the charts right now. It's one that I haven't played too extensively, but I've certainly fought a lot of them, and man, oh man, they are scary. Absolutely scary. So, get the Amalgam down, luckily. And now we are just kind of ganking this Gale Shot here, the new Ranger spec. And then lots of enemies join this fight, so we're just kind of staying back from range, putting some damage in with the hammer. And then look at this, I can teleport back. I love it. You know, if you don't like where you're at, if you don't like how the fight's going, you can just teleport away. And there's lots of unique and interesting ways that you can use that teleport. You can teleport through like the ceiling if you're below a node, like on Kylo. Look at this Amalgam. Downs 2 of my teammates, so I need to immediately go in defensive mode. I don't want to let this guy get a triple kill on all of us. Get my hammer skills, and hammer 3 luckily puts him down, but holy crap, he walks up and just instas my 2 teammates there. Absolutely unbelievable damage by that Amalgam. They seem to be using the flamethrower kit quite commonly on that build, and I just can't believe the level of damage that thing pumps up. I think I got hit by like a 10k napalm one time. Here I just do a little bit of a silly move. I kind of just tunnel vision where I want to go, and I should have kited around using that fountain or using one of my teleports or something along those lines, but sometimes you just get a little bit of a tunnel vision. So I think that when it comes to Conduit though, the balance of the skills is lacking in some points. Like, we've got some really good skills. I really like the teleport. I really like the Conduit cleanse. But there are some weak skills on the kit. Like, for instance, I think that the heal is one of the worst heals in the game because it's incredibly telegraphed. Like, when you use your heal, these 2 gigantic orange hands come around you, and it's a very long heal. And basically it makes it so that if you're ever trying to fight a thief or a warrior and you cast that heal, you are getting interrupted. There's absolutely no chance you're getting your heal off around one of those classes. I find also that the elite, when you have assassin equipped, I think it's called Twin Moon Sweep, I find that the damage on that is very much lacking, and it's not really worth the energy cost when you're using assassin. I actually tried a build that was using Xealotous the dwarf and then Raza as my legend setup, and the idea was using Xealotous, we would get lots and lots of stability, and Twin Moon Sweep actually was very nice on the Xealotous build, but on the assassin build I just really didn't see the point of it. I think it puts some immobilization onto your enemy, but I don't think that that's really something that Rev is looking for. I think I'd much rather see it on Assassin give a offensive boon to the Rev. Maybe Fury and some Might, or something along those lines. I think that would be good. Or something, you know, something like that. I think that would be a lot higher impact and make the skill feel more worthy of the energy investment, because it's a pretty high energy cost skill. I think it's 30 energy off the top of my head. I know that a lot of people have been kind of dooming about Conduit. A lot of people saying that you know, it's not good for various reasons, and I empathize with that. I think that it's a rough around the edges here, but I'm really excited for the full release of this spec, because I truly do think that it's got good bones, and I'm really enjoying playing it. Little burst on Ranger here. Let's look at this big damage. Get that down on the Ranger. Pops out of stealth. Now when you have 2 enemies here, the Thief and the enemy Evoker. Let's see if we can win this 2 versus 3 here. Dodge the Dragon's Tooth. And hammer 3 for the dodge there. Pop my F2 for the big burst, but I get kind of countered there. Need to kite back away. My friend downs the enemy Antiquary, so that is good. And then he actually gets down on the Evoker as well, so very well done by my teammate there. I kind of took the aggro of the 2 of them, and he laid down the damage meanwhile, so that was good. I think that once the bugs are ironed out on the old Conduit, I think that it will be very fun to play. Look at that burst. It's just absolutely crazy. That's kind of the main thing you have going for you is when that burst lands, oh, it just chunks like you wouldn't believe. So I think it's fun to play. I would like to see a wider variety of build diversity. I would like to see maybe we could get like a Raza Jealous duelist build that can fight on side nodes versus, you know, the Necros and the Luminaries and that sort of thing. Maybe that's a pipe dream. And I would definitely love to see a viable Revenant support build for PvP. You know, support rev has never really been a potent thing for PvP, at least in recent history. And I would really, really like to be able to play a support build on my Revenant without feeling like I'm losing the game of opportunity cost too badly. You know, if you know what I'm saying there. Big Jade wins, followed up with the damage in the alley. All lands, beautiful, get the kill there. And yeah, that's pretty much winding down the end of the game, which is a really nice comeback considering at the start of the match we were, first of all, we were 4 versus 5. And then secondly, we had a bit of a rough start there. Now, this is a bit of a funny one. There's some sort of situation going on in this little, like, closet area. So I do a big burst in the NG, get him down. And there's another one here, it's Ranger. You can see if I can hit that Greatsword 4 on him to get the big damage. Just a glancing blow, sadly, because the weakness, get the teleport. See if I can do a little bit of hammer bomb, get some of the damage, get some more downs. Ranger finally does go down, not to my damage, but just had this crazy sort of closet fight in the underbelly of this Jin's Dominion map. So that's kind of my thoughts on Conduit. I'm enjoying it. I hope that you guys are too. I'd like to hear some of your guys' thoughts on what you think, what you'd like to be changed, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you hopefully next week for another video. Thanks. Bye.